A massive thank you to Ivan, Espo, Troy, Trevor, and The Rookie Mistake for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone, and welcome back guys to a brand new video, where today we're here back with round 7 of Season 4 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yes, today we head to the French Grand Prix, and I cannot believe we're almost halfway through this season as well. Of course, if you missed out on the last race from Canada, definitely recommend going back and checking out. Again, we've been a little bit quiet on the content over the last few weeks, so a massive thank you to all of you guys that are sticking around and enjoying as we head through this 4th season of the game, but plenty more exciting things to happen down the line. Of course, as well, if you missed out on my video that went live late last night where we went round the new Jeddah Grand Prix circuit, definitely recommend going back and checking that one out as well there. But moving into this weekend, we currently sit P4 still in the Drivers' Championship, 1 point behind Yuki Tsunoda at this stage of the game there. Max Verstappen still 28 points out front, but Mercedes and 2-2 Motorsport seem to have a bit of an advantage over Red Bull at this stage of the year there. We're comfortably P3 in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes and Red Bull, though, 8 points separating them as we head into this weekend as well. But, yeah, we need another good result. Can we finally get our first win of the year on the board as well? Let's dive in here to France. We're at the final corner then to complete our track acclimatization lap. A lot of purple, a few green scores. Is it going to be enough for the purple? Yes, it is, only just. This is generally a pretty nice and easy circuit for picking up some R&D points as we come towards the end of our ERS test. 7/10 clear, we didn't even use the overtake mode. Let's jump into qualifying. And Paul Ricard might be an easy track for earning R&D points, but it is certainly not an easy track to master in the rain. As we head out the final corner to start our first qualifying run, a lot of rain and spray, but the game still reckons the Inters are the tyres to be on here in Q1, so we're just going to try and set a few laps, sort of plug away, get into a good routine with the car, then not try and get everything out of it on lap 1, sort of just cycle up the pace of it, as that is a lot of curb through turn 1, but yeah, but it's not going to be one of those normal one runs and we're back in. At the final corner then, to complete our first lap, what is the time going to be? It's going to be a 39, 3/10 off Yuki Tsunoda there with a lot of mistakes. Yeah, we can definitely get this thing towards the front of the field, but we don't really know what's going to happen to the track, whether it's going to get faster or slower, so we're just going to keep plugging away still. Yeah, and Inters are definitely the way to go early on in this session. They're really gripping up nicely. Now we've built up some temperature in them. That's pretty much going to be a 39.0.
Fastest lap so far. Well done.
Purple in sectors 2 and 3. There's a huge lock-up through turn 1, but somehow we get it slowed down still. Yeah, once we get them up to temperature, these are working really nicely. Right in the final corner, though, to complete our 3rd and final lap on this set of tyres. Trying to put the power down as best as possible. We've lost a lot of time there at the final turn. We are end up pretty much setting an even lap time. Oh, we do go 11 thousandths quicker. But, oh, there we go. Hamilton immediately then down into the 38s on those full wet. So it's pretty even at the moment. But I think track's slowly coming the Inter's way. I thought that would be enough. I thought we'd easily got through into Q2 there. And everyone found pace there. Of course. Apart from Mika Mazepin. We're starting this from the back. Oh, dearie me. This is not what we needed here at the French Grand Prix there. And I thought we might need to go out for another run, but with a couple of minutes left on the clock, we were still sat up in P3 behind a couple of the, Hamilton and I think one other person, I want to say Ilott, went out on the intermediates there. But everyone went out at the end and found so much more pace here in qualifying. I mean, we may as well put a fresh engine in the back of the car, but that is not the way we needed to end here at the French Grand Prix. However, we managed to go from the back to 6th at Monaco. We could still do pretty well here. We're going to have to go for our best Hamilton impression from the weekend. Let's dive in to the French Grand Prix.
Here we are again then at Le Castellet for another round of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. Renault took their first French Grand Prix win all the way back in the inaugural race in 1906, but it was another 73 years before they could take their second. I'm sure Alpine will be pushing hard to delight the local fans here today. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. They've got that grid penalty to worry about, of course, which puts them on the back foot from the get-go.
It's unfortunate, but it happens to everyone at some point. You just have to accept your fate, knuckle down and get on with the business of making up that deficit during the Grand Prix. So they'll be pushing hard today. One to watch for sure.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Button, Daniel Ricciardo, and Eilert, Gasly, Leclerc, Sainz, and Guan Yu Zhou. Russell, Verstappen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Lance Stroll and Ocon, Bottas, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, and Christian Lundgaard. Giovinazzi, Schwartzman, Mazepin, and Mr. Monaco. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for the French Grand Prix, and I'll be honest, don't think we're down and out of this one just yet. France has always been a weird track on F1 2021. You can really use an old strategy here to try and move yourselves up the order. I mean, you guys have probably seen in the past my OP medium to soft tyre strategy that we always try and go with around this circuit. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to underfuel the car massively as well to try and give ourselves a bigger help as possible. We're going to go 2 laps under on the fuel. It's looking bright and sunny all race long. And yeah, I don't want to get too optimistic before we even dive into this and get taken out at turn 1. But yeah, this race weekend certainly isn't over as we line up on the grid then. Let's dive in to the Monaco Grand Prix. Then we've got Mazepin and Schwartzman just in front of us. 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out and away we go. Off to a pretty decent start there as we head down towards turn 1. Got the new, more powerful motor on my wheels, so we can now actually launch the car properly in towards the first corner. There as Maz's been a little bit unpredictable through the first couple of turns. Then we'll do the up and under on him on the exit of the first couple of corners. But again, that Alpine, not bad down the straight on F1 2021. This is where the AI like to concertina up a bit, though. So we go around the outside of 1, 2, and 3. As that's Giovinazzi trying to give us a little bit of a squeeze there, of course, without a seat for real life 2022. But yeah, straight up then past Lundgaard and Gio as well on lap 1 as head of Mazepin and Schwartzman there. So we've got 4 places in the first sector, and it does look like it is Jensen into the lead of the race. So he's had a whirly of a stocks, and it was a Mercedes front row for this one here today. But yeah, that's exactly what we need as a team. You know, we need to be trying to fight for race victories this year. You know, the season, we're almost halfway through, and we're not in the prime position yet, but we have definitely got a quick car with a lot of momentum behind us over the performance gains over the last couple of race weekends. There, Latifi and young Mick Schumacher, though, next couple of cars in front of us. So we head down through sector 3. Have a look at the inside of Latifi. No, he just tried to crowd us out a little bit there. Just a little bit was Latifi not having that move. But as we head in towards the final couple of corners of lap 1, though, it does look like, yeah, it is going to be our teammate Jensen Button who leads the way at the end of lap 1. Of course, took that GP win at the Singapore Grand Prix last year. But can he make it win number 2 for 2 and 2 Motorsport here? There's rumours, there's talks at the moment that Jensen might pull away from the team at the halfway stage of the year there to try and get Lando Norris back into Formula 1. You know, he wants to see younger British drivers on the grid. You know, he has come back just for a bit of fun as we go around the outside of Nicholas Latifi, but we'll have to wait and see what the summer does say about that. But anyway, all over the back of Mick Schumacher now. And yeah, we've had a good little start here. Can we get a run on the Haas out onto the back straightaway? Let's just wait and see. Really trying to go for a lot of, you know, a really tight exit there so we can put the power down without any dirty air. And yeah, Mick Schumacher, not really a lot he's going to be able to do. And already, yeah, in the first lap and a half then, up 6 places. It's like Hamilton, we're doing well. DRS now enabled in this Grand Prix as we try to get the power down on the Williams in towards Sector 2. Up the inside we go of Valtteri Bottas, giving the room on the exit of the corner. But again, this thing's just got so much more pace than that Williams. And now up at a P15. And one lap later, all over the back of Pierre Gasly, the young Frenchman in his French Alpine at the French Grand Prix. Are we going to be able to get a run on him as we head out onto the Mistral Straight, though? We should be able to do something here, surely. He's got the DRS of the Canadian in front. But we're going to have a look to the inside. Oh, again, Ocon. Another driver just trying to sort of throw us off into the braking zone there, but we'll try and get the switch back on him really early on the power. And that is just outplayed Esteban Ocon there. I bet he feels a little bit silly about that one. I say that, it's not done just yet as we head up in towards the infamous turn 9. Ocon, yeah, just has to bail out there. We just squeeze him out on the exit, but he's coming back at me up the inside through turn 10. But yeah, definitely nothing quite working there for the Frenchman. Next up though, Lance Stroll, who again has had a pretty good run here in the past. Won his only Formula 1 race to date back in Season 1 here, if I remember correctly. And then almost managed to do it again in Season 2? Or it might have been Season 2 and Season 3. I think it was Season 2 and Season 3. He managed to take home that dub and then another podium. But yeah, Lance Stroll has always gone well. Mainly because he qualifies P11 and then uses the OP strap. Come on then, Sir Lancelot. He's got the DRS on his teammate George Russell. Who again could be another shout for a big race result this weekend. But are we going to get close enough to Stroll? He goes defensive on me. I go miles later on the brakes. What was that? From Lance Stroll. There's absolutely no bravery at all there into the braking zone. And we're going to go straight into 13th. The team was absolutely right there. That made it look easy because it was easy. Lance Stroll broke like 30 metres early. Russell going defensive in towards Sector 2. Nothing we can do there though, but we might both be able to get a good run on Guan Yu Zhou on the exit of this sector. Need to know whether the top 10 are on softs, of course, because I don't know if Q2 was still a wet affair. And of course, if they were all on intermediate tyres, they will have free choice of tyres for the start of this race. George Russell, is he now going to be able to get a run on Guan Yu Zhou? We're both gaining in on the Alpha Tauri. George Russell going defensive, though. Not as defensive as his teammate Lance Stroll. I tried to have a look around the outside, but nothing going there. I'm not able to put the power down on the exit of the corner in the way I wanted. We might still be able to get a run, though, up in towards turn 11. We'll wait and see as we close in. Russell just, like... Did he lag? That was really odd. I don't know if I'm just seeing things there, but I'm adamant Russell moved where he was on my screen there. But anyway, we do get the move up the inside. As, yeah, there's definitely... Top runners then are on soft, so that's really reassuring.
Jensen is in the pits. Jensen in the pits.
So all the leaders are immediately then into the pit lane very, very early in this GP. And obviously we can go a whole lot longer and then try and go either softs to the end or mediums to the end there. But yeah, these guys are only able to go 6 laps on those tyres. That's rather surprising as we get a run on Guan Yu Zhou in towards T1. Later on the brakes, right on the outside. We're having no messing this weekend. We are really trying to go for Hamilton Brazil energy. Heading out of the final corner then to complete lap 7, the top 4 into the pits as well. So we've gone from last to first inside 8 laps.
For a new strategy option.
What are the team recommending strat-wise? They reckon... so it's mediums to hards, I think, then, are the way to go. We're definitely going to try and do that. But yeah, I'm into the lead, though, of this GP. And now everyone has still got one more stop to make. Well, Button has now just appeared on my race delta once more. 6.6 seconds back is our teammate at the moment. But of course, theoretically, he should be faster than us pretty much between now and the end of the GP. And we're only at 1/3 distance. So this could end up being a bit of a tight battle between 2 and 2 Motorsport. But yeah, it really does completely depend on how it all plays out. Yellow flag's out though. Not too sure.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
Why have we got a safety car? No one's had issues. No one's spun. That's completely screwed us though, because as you can see, the 3 behind us have all dived into the pits at the end of that lap.
Drop your speed,
and we're not going to get a chance.
Risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So we're going to have to dive in now at the end of this one and try and... Do we want to do mediums? Oh, hards to the end? I think it's probably going to be the way to go, isn't it?
Confirmed.
But we're going to be way down the order, surely. You know what? End of lap 10, I don't think it's worth pitting here at this stage of the day. I mean, we're not really going to be able to take those hards to the end, or if we can, they're not going to be particularly fun towards the end of the GP. They're just not a particularly brilliant race tyre here, and I'm looking at the tyre wear. If we can get these mediums to about sort of lap 18, lap 19, which might now be possible with a safety car, we could still go softs to the end, and that might give us a big advantage over the rest of the field here. So we're going to gamble it, and yeah, we're going to stay out here and not bother pitting. Oh, so safety car's coming in at the end of this one, but Ricciardo, I've just noticed in the background, is peeling over there. So McLaren, Daniel Ricciardo out of the Grand Prix, and he was looking like the biggest threat to us this weekend. There's Callum Ilott still in P5, but Ricciardo, heartbreak for him and his McLaren team there, as he's going to DNF from a very, very strong start to the French Grand Prix here. But we're about to control the pace as we head out of the final couple of corners here, and I think the key for us is just to leave it as late as we can to the checkered flag here to make sure Button doesn't get a run on me. But as we head through the final corner, actually it's probably better if we just bolt around about now, try and break away from our teammate there. Not able to put the power down as well as I would have wanted, but both Button and myself get a good run away from Sergio there, as we're going to drain a lot of battery in towards the first corner. Got to get everything working up to temperature though once more. So we head through the first chicane. Of course, the guys on the fresher rubber might struggle to warm up their tyres as quickly, but I don't think it's made much difference here. Button is, yeah, immediately applying pressure. Back end just starting to struggle a little bit more with grip as we head on to lap 13 now, pretty much at the halfway stage of this race. But DRS, of course, is going to be enabled next time round. There seems to be battle of the number 2s for a lot of teams behind us. I mean, yeah, Button, really, yeah, the number 2 in our team. Perez, Tsunoda and Callum Ilott all battling it out and all within a shot of the race victory here. I think it's Pierre Gasly, perhaps, I think, in P5. So, yeah, looking pretty good for a lot of names that don't often get a moment in the sun to really try and shine today. Whoa, Button! I wasn't expecting him to go for a send there the way he did. That was not quite what I wanted to see between us and our teammate. I do apologise there if you felt I slammed the door on him. Yeah, that completely caught me off guard from Jenson Button, but now he's starting to get the DRS on us. He's certainly a lot quicker as Perez sort of sensed an opportunity. Don't think it's worth trying to let Button go, but I don't want to hold him up either and let Perez get a look at this. It's very, very difficult at this stage of the day. We might have to let Button by and just be a bit of a rear gunner. But again, our strategy is so aggressive, we really do need the clear air to make it work. We're now actively having to go defensive on Jenson, so if he doesn't try to send it in towards the end of Sector 1 there, as we actually get a warning for extending track limits. But yeah, Button though still within the DRS range, but the tyre's hanging on rather nicely. Like I said, I think end of lap 18, end of lap 19 is where we're going to need to box and then go softs to the end. It's an aggressive call. The safety car might have opened it up for us. I thought it was there to screw us, but it could make our race. End of lap 16 then, Jenson into the pits, so he should be going on to a set of medium tyres here, or common logic would say mediums anyway. Might be going on to a set of hards to try and get to the end of this race, but Sergio Perez now not far behind us. And yeah, I'm not so worried about having to try and defend a bit more robustly from Sergio, but we just, yeah, need to play our own race still if we can. Immediately I say that, Sergio Perez has got a big run on us as we head down in towards the Mistral straight chicane there. Going to get to the inside, but we're going to force him really early on the brakes there, giving him such a shallow run into the corner that we go right around the outside again. And Sergio Perez, he needs to do what we saw a lot of the weekend. If you get the car fully in front, you aggressively cut back over to the racing line. And yeah, we're now back up into the lead once more. I think Perez will probably dive in though at the end of this one. And yep, absolutely spot on. Sergio into the pits at the end of lap 17, so I think it might be worth... Do we do end of lap 18? I think it's probably worth it, isn't it, at the moment? Don't want to risk getting undercut by too much.
Right,
We'll box the end of this one. 18 laps on the medium, so 9 on the soft should be doable. But the fact a lot of these guys are making their second stop, some people, I think even their third, and we've still been out here since the start, is kind of insane. As it looks like Button has stayed ahead of Sergio, so I think we might come out right with him. Round in the final couple of corners then of lap 18, we have done an absolute miracle so far, if I do say so myself, to get these tyres as far as we have. But into the box we come. Why is that a 3-second penalty? We didn't run over the pit entry line at all, anything like that. Why on earth has that warranted a 3-second time penalty, Codys? Very, very confused by that one, but we've got more yellow flags out. That's one of the Ferraris pulling them to the wayside in this race. A 1.9 second stop, I suppose, is rather helpful. As I think they might have just looped it round, actually. But anyway, heading back out of the pit lane.
Let's get some heat into those tyres.
We are going to come out right behind Button and Sergio there, as they're still going to be battling it out in towards turn 1. But we need to try and stick with these guys. Of course, slightly fresher, slightly softer rubber. We can't take any prisoners now, because not only do we need to get them, we need to try and build up a 3-second margin now, apparently. It's been really, really aggressive over the curbing through Sector 1. Let's see how much extra grip we've got then on Sergio. Look at the extra power and rotation we're able to maintain out to the Mistral straight here. Surely both of us, though, are going to get a run on Button as we head in towards the chicane. We're going to give him the room. We're going to go 3 wide here as Button tries to go really defensive, but we get up the inside. Perez goes round the outside, though, of myself, and he holds on. Absolutely parks it on the exit of the chicane. We had nowhere to go, and Button loses 2 places in 1. But what great racing here from Paul Ricard. Are we going to be able to get a run, though, on Sergio as we head through the end of Sector 2 here? Into Sector 3 we go. I don't think we're quite going to be able to make anything work just yet, but surely next lap Sergio knows what's going to be happening here. We're going to be trying to use all the power. Honda versus Honda power. And at the moment, it is really heating up. Don't even have to wait till the back straightaway here. If we get a good run on Sergio back down towards turn 1. We've used all the battery, though. But we're still going to get a run around the outside. Team reckon we're going to need to box again there as well. Sergio, at the last moment, tried to keep the nose up the inside there. Verstappen set fastest lap behind. But we are now up into the lead once more of the French Grand Prix. And now, yeah, we've got to try and pull away. We've got to let these guys battle it out and try and break out the DRS. This lap needs to be a hot lap. Really? I mean, pretty much every lap between now and the end needs to be qualifying style. We want to try and build up the gap we need. But yeah, let's not give up on this just yet there as we build up a bit of an advantage on the exit of the twisty bits there. Sergio's still got the DRS though, so it's going to take a bit of time out of me. But we can definitely break away.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
There we go, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and the gap now over 1 second, so we need to just keep pushing at the moment. But we, of course, have got to try and get these tyres to the end. That's going to be very, very difficult as well. Obviously, the pace is going to fall away late on in this stint. So it's whether we just go really aggressive to build up a big margin and lose a bit of time towards the end, or we just try and stagger out a bit more, play a bit more of a patience game, and just slowly build up the 3 seconds and try to hang on. Oh, it's all so difficult here at Circuit Paul Ricard. But just 4 laps to go then here from the French Grand Prix, and the gap now over that 3-second margin that for whatever reason we need in this race. But now we just got to try and slowly ease back the pace, you know, just control it now at the front and make sure we get this rubber to the end. 2 laps to go then here from the French Grand Prix, and Perez is still 4.4 behind us, and that gap is still going up lap after lap at the moment. The only thing that can make this any better is if JB is able to get past him to potentially be looking at a 1-2 here at the end of the Grand Prix. We went 2 laps under on fuel, and we got 5 laps of fuel extra come the end of this race from Paul Ricard. It has been such an insane one, but we've just got to try and hang on and make sure these tyres don't hit the cliff. Well, round in the final corners then to start the last lap here from the French Grand Prix, and what a weird and wonderful season it has been so far. The first couple of races really just trying to hang on and score good consistent points. Then we got to Baku. Like I was saying, then we got to Baku, and we really started to show signs that we could have a car that could fight for race victories here. Of course, Canada last time out was absolutely heartbreaking as well, but we have been slowly but surely moving this thing right back up to the front of Formula 1. Of course, lost a little bit of performance from the end of last season where we were really, yeah, to be honest, the car to beat in those final few races. But as we round the final lap, though, of the French Grand Prix today, qualifying certainly didn't go our way there. Everyone found pace on the final lap there, but it's not over just yet. Sergio Perez has started to take a little bit of time out of me once more, so we are certainly going to have to let off on this final lap here of the French GP. But we started right from the very back, but I don't know why. I just had a feeling that something was still possible here. You know, Paul Ricard has often delivered some brilliant races on the F1 2021 game. Hasn't done so much in real life, but I suppose the 2021 race was pretty good as well. But as we round the final few corners here, the FIA tried to penalise us, but we are just not taking anything. No for an answer this weekend. We came here trying to take home our first race victory of the season as we head in towards the final few corners here of the French Grand Prix. Rounding the final turn. We finished on the podium last time for the first time this season in P2. We just missed out on the win, but here at the French Grand Prix, we are going to come through for our first win of the year.
you've done it. Well done.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Here comes your top three making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. Now let's discuss, Ant, who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Yeah, I kind of forgot I'd set up the Halloween ghost noise as our race celebration. So that one did take me by surprise at the end of the GP. But last or first, what more could you really ask for this weekend? Like I said, I don't know why, I just had a feeling the safety car, I thought it would screw us, but ultimately allowed us to move right to the front of the field, and then really we just gave it everything this weekend. No was not an option here in the French GP there. But we take home the dub despite the 3-second penalty ahead of Sergio Perez there. Button in P3 ahead of Lewis Hamilton there. Ilott in fourth. Max Verstappen, even in fifth. Ilott in sixth place there. Ahead of Leclerc there. Tsunoda first to eighth in the end. A disappointing result for him. Both AlphaTauris pick up some points ahead of George Russell there. And Ocon and Stroll a bit further down the order with Carlos Sainz's late race spin. Unfortunately, really setting him back there. Ricciardo, the only man not to make it to the checkered flag. But it does mean championship-wise, consistency has been key so far for us. Up into P3 now. Could we really put a march on for the championship this year? I think it could be between myself and Lewis Hamilton, and only 9 points between us as we head in towards the halfway stage of the season there. Button now just a handful of points behind Perez and Yuki Tsunoda, so we are definitely in the battle for both drivers and constructors championship here. No other movers though further down the order. Constructors-wise, 40 points now between the top three, 20 separating Mercedes from Red Bull and us from Mercedes there. Ferrari jump at AlphaTauri, though, 2 points between them, and yeah, that's a pretty good battle going on for P4 as well. So a three-way scrap for the top, a three-way scrap for P4 as well, and I mean, really, yeah, all those teams towards the rear of the field, if they get a good weekend, they could be in contention as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with round 8 of the year. We head to Austria. Can we maintain this winning momentum? Only time will tell. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel supporters, so a massive thank you to The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aidan, Estasios, Kato, Sean, Johnny, McBlam, Mighty Spork, Tazieff, William, and Nanon for becoming channel members. If you want to be featured at the end of all these videos, make sure you just click the join button down below.